Imagine a world with more extreme weather. Storms could be stronger, more frequent, and more devastating. Urban areas could face unprecedented challenges with infrastructure struggling to cope with the intensity and frequency of these events. Streets could turn into rivers and homes could be left in ruins. Heat waves could be longer, more intense, and more deadly. Cities could become heat islands with temperatures soaring to dangerous levels. People could suffer from heat exhaustion and heat stroke, and the most vulnerable populations would be at the greatest risk. The landscape could become parched, with vegetation wilting under the relentless sun. Droughts could be more severe, lasting for years and causing widespread water shortages. Riverbeds could dry up, leaving communities without a vital water source. Farmlands could become barren, leading to food shortages and economic hardship for farmers. The cracked earth would be a stark reminder of the changing climate. This is one potential future if we don't address climate change. The environmental damage could be extensive, affecting both natural landscapes and urban areas. The impact on our daily lives could be profound, altering the way we live, work, and interact with our environment. Sea levels are rising, threatening coastal cities and communities. Coastal erosion could swallow up beaches and waterfront properties. Streets could be submerged, and entire neighborhoods could be displaced. The economic and social costs could be enormous. Glaciers are melting at alarming rates, contributing to rising sea levels and altering ecosystems. The retreat of ice sheets could have far-reaching consequences for wildlife and human populations alike. The loss of these natural wonders would be a significant blow to our planet's beauty and biodiversity. Forests are burning, releasing more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and exacerbating climate change. Wildfires could become more frequent and more intense, destroying homes, habitats, and lives. The charred remains of forests would be a haunting reminder of the destruction. This is the reality we face if we do not take action. The environmental devastation could be widespread, affecting every corner of the globe. The effects of global warming could touch every aspect of our lives, from the air we breathe to the food we eat. But there's another possible future. A future where we embrace renewable energy and sustainable living. A future where we take bold steps to combat climate change and protect our planet for future generations. Imagine a world powered by clean energy. Solar panels could gleam on rooftops, harnessing the power of the sun. Wind turbines could spin gracefully in fields, generating electricity without harming the environment. Electric cars could hum quietly along the streets, reducing air pollution and our dependence on fossil fuels. Solar panels gleam on rooftops. Wind turbines spin gracefully. Electric cars hum quietly. This vision of the future is not just a dream, it is within our reach. We have the technology and the knowledge to make it a reality. This future is within reach. We can create a sustainable energy landscape with cities powered by renewable energy and eco-friendly technology. We can reduce our carbon footprint and protect our planet for future generations. We have the knowledge and the tools to combat climate change. Green technology and environmental conservation tools are at our disposal. We can implement solutions that will make a difference and ensure a healthier planet. The question is, will we act in time? Will we take the urgent environmental action needed to combat climate change? Will we come together as a global community to protect our planet? The choice is ours, and the time to act is now. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it's about our future. It's about the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. It's about the very fabric of our existence and the health of our planet. It's about the world we leave to our children and grandchildren. The smiles on their faces as they play in nature, the joy of discovering the wonders of the natural world, and the hope for a brighter, greener future. We have a responsibility to act. Every small action counts, from recycling and reducing waste to advocating for policies that protect our environment. We must come together as a global community to make a difference. We must reduce our carbon footprint. Embracing renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and electric vehicles is crucial. These technologies not only reduce emissions but also pave the way for a cleaner, more sustainable future. We must transition to a more sustainable way of life. This means building eco-friendly homes, supporting urban gardening, and adopting sustainable farming practices. Every step we take towards sustainability is a step towards preserving our planet for future generations. This is our legacy. The Earth is a complex and interconnected system. Rivers, forests, oceans, and the atmosphere all work together to support life. When one part of this system is disrupted, it has a ripple effect on the entire planet. Changes in one part of the system affect the whole. Coral reefs are bleaching, polar ice is melting, and forest fires are becoming more frequent and intense. These changes are signals that our planet is in distress. Climate change is disrupting this delicate balance. It's causing widespread impacts from severe flooding in urban areas to devastating hurricanes and prolonged droughts. These events are becoming more common and more destructive. These impacts include rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and the erosion of coastlines. Communities around the world are facing unprecedented challenges as they adapt to these changes, and changes in plant and animal life. Birds are altering their migration patterns, coral reefs are degrading, and forest animals are losing their habitats. The natural world is struggling to cope with the rapid changes. We are all connected to this planet. Our actions have far-reaching consequences, and we must recognize our role in protecting the Earth. By working together, we can create a sustainable future for all. What we do today will determine the future of life on Earth. The choices we make now will shape the world for generations to come. Let's commit to making a positive impact and ensuring a healthy, vibrant planet for our children and grandchildren. For those living in cities, climate change hits close to home. Air pollution worsens as temperatures rise, heat waves become more frequent and intense. This is especially dangerous for vulnerable populations. The elderly, children, and those with pre-existing health conditions are most at risk. Cities are also vulnerable to sea level rise. Many major cities are located on coasts. Flooding and storm surges pose significant threats. Infrastructure is at risk. Homes and businesses are in danger. We must adapt to these challenges. We need to make our cities more resilient. This includes investing in green infrastructure and sustainable transportation. Climate change affects our food supply in profound ways. Droughts and floods make it harder to grow crops, leading to unpredictable harvests. Changes in temperature and rainfall patterns disrupt growing seasons, making it difficult for farmers to plan and plant their crops effectively. This leads to food shortages and price increases, affecting both availability and affordability of food. The most vulnerable populations are hit hardest, often facing severe malnutrition and hunger. Food security is a major concern, with millions of people around the world struggling to access enough nutritious food. We need to find ways to adapt our agricultural practices to these changing conditions. This includes developing drought-resistant crops and using water more efficiently to ensure that we can continue to grow food even in challenging climates. We also need to reduce food waste, which is a significant issue contributing to food insecurity. Every bit of food saved helps, and small actions can collectively make a big difference. Our choices about what we eat also matter. Opting for locally grown and seasonal produce can reduce the carbon footprint of our food. Reducing our consumption of meat can significantly lower greenhouse gas emissions, as livestock farming is a major contributor to climate change. Similarly, reducing our consumption of dairy can have a significant impact, as dairy farming also contributes to environmental degradation. Community initiatives like urban farming and community gardens can also play a role in enhancing food security and promoting sustainable practices. Education and awareness are key. By teaching future generations about sustainable farming and food practices, we can build a more resilient food system. Embracing renewable energy sources in agriculture can further reduce the environmental impact of food production. Together, through innovation, education, and conscious choices, we can mitigate the impact of climate change on our food supply and ensure a sustainable future for all. Section 5. The weight of worry, climate anxiety. The impacts of climate change are not just physical, they are also mental and emotional. Many people experience anxiety and distress about the future. This is especially true for young people. They are inheriting a planet in crisis. Climate anxiety is a real and valid concern. It's important to acknowledge these feelings. Talking about climate change can help. Connecting with others who share your concerns can provide support. Taking action, however small, can also be empowering. Section 6. A question of justice, inequality in the face of climate change. Climate change doesn't affect everyone equally. Lower-income communities and communities of color often bear a disproportionate burden. They are more likely to live in areas vulnerable to climate impacts. They may have fewer resources to cope with these impacts. This is a matter of climate justice. We need to ensure that solutions to climate change are equitable and just. This means involving marginalized communities in decision-making processes. It also means investing in resources and support for these communities. Section 7. Technology to the rescue. The role of innovation. Technology has a crucial role to play in combating climate change. Renewable energy sources like solar and wind power offer clean alternatives to fossil fuels. Energy efficiency measures can reduce our energy consumption. Carbon capture and storage technologies can remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Innovation is key. We need to invest in research and development. We need to support the deployment of new technologies. The transition to a clean energy economy will create jobs and stimulate economic growth. It's a win-win situation. Section 8. Beyond machines, shifting our values and actions. Technology alone is not enough. We need to change our behavior. We need to consume less. We need to waste less. We need to make more sustainable choices. This requires a shift in our values. We need to embrace a more sustainable way of life. This means living within our planetary boundaries. It means respecting the limits of our natural resources. It means recognizing that we are part of nature, not separate from it. Section 9. The power of policy driving change from the top. Policy plays a crucial role in driving climate action. Governments can set targets for emissions reductions. They can implement carbon pricing mechanisms. They can invest in renewable energy and energy efficiency. International cooperation is essential. Climate change is a global problem that requires a global solution. We need to work together to reduce emissions and adapt to the impacts of climate change. Policy can create a level playing field. It can provide incentives for businesses to adopt sustainable practices. It can support individuals in making greener choices. Section 10. Nature's resilience, our greatest ally. Nature is our greatest ally in the fight against climate change. Forests absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Oceans act as carbon sinks. Protecting and restoring ecosystems can enhance their ability to sequester carbon. Biodiversity is also essential. Diverse ecosystems are more resilient to climate change. They provide a wider range of services such as pollination and water purification. We need to protect our planet's biodiversity. It is crucial for our own survival. Nature provides solutions. We need to listen to nature and work with its rhythms. Section 11. A call to action, hope, and our shared future. The challenges of climate change can feel overwhelming. But there is hope. We have the knowledge, the tools, and the resources to address this crisis. What we need now is action. We need to act individually and collectively. Every action counts. Reduce your carbon footprint. Support sustainable businesses. Advocate for policy change. Talk about climate change with your friends and family. Get involved in your community. The future is in our hands. Let's create a sustainable and equitable future for all. What steps will you